night, the whole world comes alive. One dream, one love, one sky.
Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast from three guys who talked sports together over lunch for over 10 years, probably eating a Fudgy the Whale in that time.
Millions marching to the same heartbeat, different languages, same desire. One spark turning into fire. Raise your hands up high, higher than the city lights. When the world unites, anything can happen tonight. Dance for the world, dance for the glory. Every nation got a story. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Messi writing one last page, Ronaldo stepping on the stage, Mbappe running like a flame, everybody singing his name. Dance for the world, for the dream.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. I'm Bryan Galloway here with, from Rumson, New Jersey, Alex Shanley. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing good, watching a lot of soccer, man, and sweating.
Sweating, and from Parts Unknown, which is also getting a heat wave there. Michael Pipersek, how are you, Mike?
A little heartbroken after the Croatia loss, but I am feeling like Keith Sweat right now. Sweating like Alex.
Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat, man. Keith Sweat.
He had some good songs.
I know he did. And, you know, it's funny. We'll talk about another podcast, but the Garden State podcast, which is I think one of the best podcasts around, they always talk about Keith Sweat. I think because he's from he's a New Jersey guy, and they think he was real popular in the clubs back when those kids were younger, and those guys were younger. But yeah, Keith Sweat, man, he's been coming up a lot lately. And
Did
everybody's out there
Alex ever listen to Keith Sweat? Alex, did you have an R&B phase?
No,
No,
No?
Alex didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not an R&B guy. I just never was.
You gotta put on the slow jams to romance the ladies, Alex. The Quiet Storm.
Maybe that's why I didn't.
Keith Sweat used to play. No, he used to play in like when I went to the Pier Pub. He used to come in and play, and he used to play at a lot of the beach places before he got big. So he was like a popular like a local guy, and then he started getting big, and then he was out with all the big players.
Yeah.
But he was a New Jersey native. Keith Sweat. Okay. So it's been there's a lot of crazy things. I don't know where you want to start. Let's start with the Croatia game, because that's hot on. I know you're very upset, but I just think that they got robbed, and I'm sorry. And the more I think about it, I watched it a couple times, and there's no explaining to me that was not a goal. I mean, you would think, unless it's just because the FIFA wants Ronaldo in the next round because of all the TV coverage, there's no way why they wouldn't want an overtime game with those two giants going at it, and it would have been even better drama on TV. I don't know. To me, I just don't understand what was going on. So you tell me. You guys know better than me. What do you think?
I'll let Mike start because Croatia is one of his teams.
Yeah, so my mom was born in Croatia, even though she hated Croatia, but I still love Croatia. So yeah, heartbreaking loss for Croatia. They scored in the 110th minute, right? No, 100th minute out of a plus 10 with these water breaks. You get these really long periods of extra time. So they
Powerade breaks. Let's get
Powerade. Yeah, which is like all these commercials. Have you guys noticed every commercial? David Beckham's in like every commercial.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Amazing. It's amazing to me to watch. If there was a David Beckham drinking game, we'd all be bombed by the first hydration. But anyway,
Well, it's Brand Beckham, right? He has a whole marketing Brand Beckham. Yeah.
It's brilliant. If I looked like him, I'd probably do the same thing. So I can't blame the guy at all. But yeah, so Croatia scores this late goal after falling behind 2-1, and I'm texting my kids, neither one of whom were home, and it's late in the game, and I said, hey, we need some Croatian magic here, and they came through with what appeared to be the tying goal from Josip Guardiol, who plays for Manchester City, hasn't played a ton in the World Cup because he's been injured. As a defender, to me, he was culpable on the game-winning goal, ultimately the game-winning goal that Portugal scored. He comes in late in the game, doesn't go up for that ball. It's a great header, but neither Croatian defender jumps up. and he seems to redeem himself at the end with a goal that is then deemed to be offside because there's apparently a chip in the ball, and the ball grazed a player from Croatia before it got over to a player who's in an offside position. Now, it did hit off of a Portuguese player, which allowed the offside player to play the ball. Guardiola scores the goal, but then after a VAR review, it grazed the player's hair. And on every replay, you can't see this thing. So the cool thing, one of the cool things about this game is it was played in Toronto, which has a really big Croatian population, and
Yeah,
what I didn't
big
know, they
time.
have a very big Portuguese population, like 300,000 Portuguese. So this, to me, was a great game, just like a great game with the ultras from both countries there. So the atmosphere was incredible. The scene was set. The sun coming down. It was just a great game. I mean, all around. The first half was lackluster. Croatia just looked like they were trying to survive and hang in there. Portugal just looked much faster, like on the flanks, and Croatia just hanging on. They've got a couple of old guys, Perisic, who ended up scoring the first goal and the only goal for Croatia. Then Luka Modric, probably playing in his last World Cup game at age 40. But the second half, to me, just came alive. It was a great game. Multiple disallowed goals on both sides. Ronaldo thought he scored. He was offside by a hair. Ended up scoring his first goal ever in a knockout game on a penalty. And, they went up 2-1 on the header, and then Croatia thought they tied it, but just a great game all around. Heartbreak for Croatia, who's for a small country has had great World Cups. First ever World Cup when they were independent, they made it to the semifinals. 2018, they lost to a great French team in the final. Last World Cup, they made it to the semifinals, came in third place. So this for them is kind of a disappointment to lose to round of 32. But to me, they left it all out there. This is probably the end of their golden generation with some of those veteran players. But a great game, heartbreaking. And I mean, the prize for winning this game is you go on to play Spain in the round of 16 on Monday in Dallas. And Spain really seemed to kick it into gear yesterday against Austria. So Portugal, great team. I just think Spain is, one of the top two teams. I kind of expect that they will be seeing France in the semifinal, which is a shame that those two teams could meet in the semifinal. But yeah, great game, heartbreaking. I had no idea there was a chip in the ball. The Croatian coach seemed a little surprised. Hey, there's a chip in the ball and they could detect everything. But hey, what can you do? Great game, though.
Now, you never remember from the old NASL, the Toronto team was called the Toronto Metro
Metro
Croatia.
Croatia.
Yeah.
Metro
That's what I'm
Croatia.
saying.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Yeah, so
so they
great
were. So
population.
yeah, they've always had a big population there, big
So
time.
Yeah, and they've done a nice job of putting these countries in locations where they get a lot of people from their country live there. Because Croatia played another game in Toronto as well, their second game there, not the England game. They didn't want that one in Toronto. But yeah, it's been like a riveting World Cup. I thought going up to 48 teams was going to be a little bit too many teams, and it still is. But these round of 32 games have been very dramatic. England had to rally, and the game yesterday was terrific. I mean, there have been a couple of games where teams have been overmatched. Austria was clearly overmatched against Spain, but hung in for a while. Um, Algeria lost late last night to Switzerland. Switzerland's a team we never talk about. They always seem to make it to the round of 16 or beyond.
yeah, they're
Can't name more
solid.
than Yeah, you can't name more than a couple players on their team, but they are just always
That
there.
well, I mean, I'm sorry, but they don't really look Swiss to me. But I'm
No,
okay.
nobody
I'm
looks
not.
nobody looks like the guys from when
Yeah,
we were kids, right?
yeah. I know it's like
Yeah.
what those. That's. I was looking at. It's like, oh, that must be like Ghana. No, wait,
Swiss
Switzerland.
grandmother. Yeah, it could be a
Yeah.
grandparent now, I think, as well. So there's all kinds of ways to get yourself playing for certain countries, which is kind of cool. It really spreads the talent out as well.
Oh, it does, and it is cool. It's makes it better, but it's just very different, from what we used to see.
So I think FIFA. Well, I don't know how I want to put this, but I mean, if people think FIFA's deciding who's winning games, like what do they have a guy in every booth with like a knife and a gun, and like
Who
they're
knows?
they're quickly deciding.
They
So
might. They're a cricket organization.
Tell them there's a chip in the ball. There's a
yeah,
No, and through history, they had many situations where they've been deemed crooked. So
of course, but not like I mean during a game, influencing a game to influence the result. I mean, could be could be difficult. I mean, what they're saying now about the ref in the U.S. game. I guess he was part of some conspiracy in Brazil that he was inaccurately giving out red cards to
Yeah.
influence games.
Yep. Yep.
Interesting side topic there. But in the Croatia game, I think FIFA would have done themselves better if because they show where, oh, well, we know it hit his head because look, there's a little blip in this line because of the chip in the ball. But I think they would have done better to show the whole series. So many blips in the line, not just a single blip, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, well, wait, there's one blip. The ball then hits a defender, then hits, a player from Kuwait, to almost show that whole thing to be like, hey, look, we know every time the ball's touched, not just the singular time that it grazed the guy's hair. It's a tough call. I mean, I like that the calls are getting quote unquote right with the
Yeah.
offsides in this, but somebody's big toe being offsides and then
Well, there
um,
was one. There was somebody's elbow was offside. I saw that the other day, and it was like it was they had the little the line would come down and the 3D line would come down, and then what went over the line was his elbow, and it's like I didn't know that was off. Your elbow can be offsides.
yeah, and I mean they have the one guy's foot. His literally it was like his toe. I forget what
So
game that was in.
yeah, I remember
But
that. But
yeah,
an elbow, does that count? Because I thought it had to be a
Well, it
part of
was.
the
It
body
was
that you could
obviously it
score
was. Yeah.
with.
Well,
well, yesterday for Ronaldo and for one Croatian player, I forget who it was. They were both leaning forward, so it was like
Hmm.
their arm was beyond the defender. But at least it's the right call, whether you like it or
I
not, or how
agree.
they got
Yeah.
there. It's probably the right call, right? So, um, and look, I thought, Mike, I totally agree with you. Like neither, and there was actually a third defender there when Croatia gave up the
Yes.
winning goal.
Yeah.
None of them jumped.
Yeah. One guy, I think the ball went over his head, and then there were two around
Yeah,
the player, and one of them was Guardiola, who just came in, and a few minutes before when they were subbing Ronaldo off, because that's the guy that I think Ronaldo got subbed for that scored. And so he's coming off the field and they're making a sub. It's like the 83rd minute. And my wife asked me, like, why are they taking Ronaldo off? I said, well, you're trying to win the game in 90 minutes. You don't want to take a chance with 30 minutes plus penalties. I said, and now you're bringing in a guy who can score, a striker who's fresh against some tired legs, because you don't often you never sub center backs, as we all know. Outside backs will sub out as needed. And so Guardiol's in there. He just came in. I can see the other guy, hey, maybe he's tired, he's not going to jump, but Guardiol's got to jump. I mean, they just let this guy jump over them, and it's a simple header, a nice header, but nobody jumps. I don't
yeah, it was
understand that.
crazy. That's what I
Yeah,
was saying in the moment. I'm like, what are they doing?
right.
They braced them, and then it like nobody jumped. But
Yeah,
anyway, Croatia had more shots on goal. And look, Ronaldo. I'm not the biggest Ronaldo fan, so but him
neither
like
one.
people are saying, oh, he's being subbed off. I mean, he's 41 years old, and he hasn't scored a goal against a quality team, right? I mean,
yeah.
so I think the coach is like, I got to win this game. Like I got to
Of
put people in.
course. And there's a lot
He
of talent on that team. A
yeah,
ton.
yeah. So he's he gets his PK goal, which is like
Yeah, that
becoming a
doesn't
joke.
count.
Yeah, like it's becoming a joke, right?
Yeah.
And then he's subbed off and he's not happy, but he's not the player he was. It's like LeBron James now, right? Like, oh, what team's going to get LeBron? What team would want LeBron? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't understand it. So I think that's why he was subbed off, and ultimately it played out perfectly, right, for Portugal.
Yeah.
So, um,
Everybody's happy, I guess, right?
yeah,
Ronaldo
yeah,
starts, plays 83 minutes, he scores a goal,
right,
Portugal wins the game. Everybody,
yeah,
everyone in Portugal wins.
yeah.
Well, now
So,
so they Portugal versus Spain is a much better viewing option, or people will tune into it more than they would with Croatia. But even though I think Croatia got robbed, so I don't know. To me, it just seems very fishy. But
but
we'll
how is
never
that
prove it.
call being made? Like at the beginning of the game, they're like, okay, we got to make Portugal win the game, so let's influence the game, or is it like in the moment? Like to me, how's FIFA
I
stepping
think
in?
basically FIFA says, "Hey, I can't screw up this. Look at this emotion, and it's so close. It's not worth doing. It's not worth up. changing it. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it just seems so inconclusive and such a stretch that they shouldn't have done it. I don't know. But again, there was one in the Democratic Republic of Congo game that was just outrageous. But I think I've seen that more often than not here. But there's also been some great calls and ones that yes were 100% accurate. So I have to say, probably percentage wise, they've done a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
But just the ones that actually decide a game are the ones that are scary.
Well, the U.S. one is terrible. I
Oh,
mean,
well, I'm not. We're not
yeah,
going. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the next one.
yeah.
The U.S. one, I still don't understand, and you guys explain more to me about this because I don't. Messi seemed like he did the exact same thing. This guy had no intent at all of doing that. The guy got up and played, so it wasn't that bad of an injury. So, like, why did he get a red card? I could see a yellow, 100%, no issue, but go right into a red. I don't. That's an extreme.
Yeah,
You
I
could
mean,
take this one.
if you look at the official rule, right? There's three parts to it, and the first part is on a tackle. If you endanger a player, you can get a red card. Now, to me, that is literally every tackle that you can make on the field, right? Like, tell me one tackle that a guy's making that's not endangering a player. So I take that part of the rule out because that's so subjective. It's like it doesn't matter. The next two parts of the rule explain if it's excessive force. And it clearly says in both parts excessive force. And it wasn't. So
No.
I don't understand how that call is made against Bulgan. Now, the same thing happened with Messi. There was no, not even a call. It was a play
No.
on.
Yeah, not even.
VAR
Yeah,
never got
nothing.
involved, and that was it. They just kept playing. And with the Bulgan, the ref didn't make a call. He didn't give a card. He didn't do anything. And then VAR called down and said, "Hey, you got to take a look at this." Now, where the controversy comes up is VAR's not supposed to look at things, fouls, with freeze framing or in slow motion. They're supposed to look at it in real time as if the ref was looking at it. And I guess they claim that, oh, well, in slow motion, this is what we see, and they're not supposed to do that. So the ref looked at it in slow motion and stopped and then declared it a red card. So to me, that's where the controversy comes up is how the technology was applied and really how the rule was applied because he's making a play on the ball. He's closer to the ball than the defender, and the defender's foot ends up in a place that Mulligan's foot is going to end up, and he ends up stepping on it. So it's
Well,
you know
does it play in the factor that Bulligan? I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but that he seems to be like he's a complainer a lot. Like he seems like
no,
he's complaining a lot, probably more than any other U.S.
he's a
player.
striker. All
Yeah,
strikers
Yeah.
complain all the
yeah,
time.
To everyone.
Yeah, to everyone. I mean, that's their job, right? Like 90% of the time they're not playing in the game, so they complain, and then 10% they score goals and they become famous. So,
yeah.
um, it's just the nature of the position, and they are fouled a lot. They're being grabbed and pulled, and they're generally bigger guys, so bigger guys generally don't get the calls against smaller guys. So, but he's been the U.S.'s best player, and to take him off the field for the next game is
I
it's
just saw.
tough.
I see a lot of grabbing the shirts, and
Yeah,
you would
Tons.
think that they shouldn't. Like the NFL stopped that a while ago by making the shirts really tight, and you would think that they would do that because they have these loose shirts. You would think they would make them as tight as possible so the guys can't grab them like that. But I don't
yeah,
know.
they're pretty tight. I mean, they're way tighter than they were in the 80s. The 80s they were like these
The big
flowing,
Yeah,
floppy ones.
yeah, big
That's
floppy
right.
shirt. So they're much tighter now, but you know what? It just takes the ref calling it and
they
saying,
don't
"Hey,
though.
I know,"
Yeah, they're letting them
but
play
I
a
I
lot in this
prefer
window.
less calls than more calls personally.
But not on grabbing shirts. I mean, it's just I don't know. Again, there's certain things I understand. The rough play, I don't mind. It's the stuff like the guy's about to get past you, so you grab his shirt and pull him back, and the ref doesn't call it. Like that's just shocking to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they tend to let it go if it doesn't impede the progress of the offensive player. If he kind of shakes them off and keeps going, they're trying to let the play continue. But yeah, they generally have been letting a lot of stuff go. Sometimes I see plays and I'm thinking, oh, that's definitely a foul, and the ref is just telling the guy to get up. I'm like, wow,
Right.
I can't even tell, because there are obviously a lot of guys that take dives, but and there were a couple that I saw yesterday in the Portugal game. The one guy there, I think it was might have been 1-1 already. Yeah, it was before they scored their winning goal, and I forgot what player it was in the box, and he got like bumped and he jumps into the ground. I'm thinking, you're trying to get another penalty.
Yeah.
Like the first one was some people may say it's a soft penalty, but the guy had his arms around the player. So it's kind of hard not to. I mean, he went down kind of easy, but hey, if someone's got their arms around you, holding as you're running towards the ball, you're trained to take a dive and go down. And when they look at it
Yeah.
on VR, it does look like a penalty at that point. The guy's got his arms around him, so they're going to call it. So it's been tough and hard. Oh, go ahead.
But Mike, what I noticed about the play, like I know the Portuguese player was making a play for the ball, and could he have gotten to the ball? I'm not sure, but
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
right. But either way, like when he falls, his legs are straight. It's not like his knees are bent and he's
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah.
He literally,
He's
the guy puts his
falling.
arms and he literally just falls down to the ground.
Yeah,
I
he
was like,
feels. Yeah, he feels the contact,
and then he goes
and
down.
and he goes down.
Yeah.
But when you watch it on VAR, the guy has his arms around him. So you're thinking, oh crap, he's got his arms around. It's probably going to be a penalty,
But they
and
they,
it
they
is
have their arms around guys on corner
all the
kicks
time.
every single time.
Guys, guys are pulling each other down on corner kicks.
Yeah.
It's brutal in the box.
Yeah.
Like Brian, you're talking about jerseys getting grabbed. There are jerseys getting grabbed like crazy on corner kicks. Because I think in the U.S. game, I feel like there was a play where someone was making on a corner, was going towards the ball, and a jersey was getting pulled as the guy was about to jump. So
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I mean, if they can get away with it, they get away with it. But
yeah,
then just be consistent. Like again, like Alex was saying, he likes not the least amount of calls. I'm fine with that too, as long as it's consistent. But you can't do it for one team and not the other. And that's where I see. That's when I think something's wrong there, where you see one team getting more favoritism than the other. And that's
yeah,
kind of what I was seeing in Portugal last night. That's just to me. Again, I can't prove it, and whatever casual observer, it just seems strange to me. And very similar in the Democratic Republic of
Well,
Congo game. It was like they had no, they were. It's like no way did FIFA want them to win because they were like that's yes, it's a good story, but it wasn't. They're not going to bring in fans. I don't know.
twice as many fouls called against Croatia than Portugal.
yeah.
So, but
I know. Well, no, hey, nothing we can do, right?
yeah,
We're
Mhm.
we're
I
just
mean, you got to
Monday
jump.
morning quarterbacks.
You got to
You got to jump. Yeah,
I mean that.
exactly.
Yeah,
When
like
yeah,
if
when
that
it
goal
all
was a gift goal, then I'd be like, oh, but that guy earned it, and Croatia didn't defend it. So
yeah, when it all comes down to it, like you said, Alex, the chip in the ball, disappointing for Croatia, but you want the right call to be made, the offside on the other goal they scored, correct. Ronaldo had one call back, but on that game winning goal, I mean, who are you going to blame on that? Because the Croatian coach said, "Well, I don't know about this chip in the ball, but and I don't want to say too much, but the refereeing was poor." And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe the refereeing was poor, but when it matters in those winning moments, you got two defenders there, one of whom plays for Manchester City, one of the top clubs in the world, and he's not even jumping to contest it. And
yeah,
when you see the header, it's not like that guy jumped 3 feet over everyone. He's
no,
just the
no,
only guy that jumped.
yeah,
So,
and barely jumped. Like he was like
yeah,
not even a head above the other guys. Yeah,
yeah. So
that's crazy.
So okay, so let's talk about the U.S. because I want to dive into that a little bit more now. They played very well shorthanded, which was it's amazing to me how that happens. How the other team doesn't say, "Hey, I got him now." When you're short a person, you should be able to take advantage. They didn't, and they scored, which I think is amazing. Like that was just to me phenomenal that that goal as great as a shot it was the fact that they were shorthanded, and um, that's the crazy thing. So what's going to happen next game? Are they going to? Do you think who's going to take his spot?
They're saying Pepe. I don't like that, but they're saying Ricardo Pepe is going to go in, and I think I think Bradley and another former coach. I can't remember which one, but they
is it
said,
Klinsmann?
look, you don't want to change the other nine,
No.
so just sub out, or sub in Ricardo Pepe, and I just don't think I don't think he can hold the ball. I don't think he's strong enough.
He's
He
definitely not
doesn't. He
strong
doesn't
enough.
create shots. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who
Who
you
would
put
you
in there.
who would be Reina would be the who's the other option? Reina?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Timothy Way. I don't. Uh,
Yeah, Timothy Way. I'm not a big
th-
fan of.
there's one other guy. I can't think of his name. Oh, who's the other forward they have on
Oh,
the bench?
Brad, they have Aronson.
Oh yeah, he's played
Yeah,
well.
I like
yeah, but he's
Aronson.
not big enough.
No, I
Yeah,
mean, but you're right. I agree with you about Ricardo Pepi. You know where he's good? He's good in front of the goal, like when it's messy. Like he just gets in there and
yeah.
he'll poke
Stick
one
his
in.
foot in. Yeah,
Yeah, he finds his way around the goal. But I agree. Like he came in when Balogun went out, and I thought he played all right. Like I said,
yeah,
okay, he played well, but it was because he was not holding up the ball. He was just kind of out in space a little bit. But he looked even thinner than I remember him.
yeah,
The, these guys wear tight jerseys. His was very floppy, and I was thinking, wow, he looks very thin. So
yeah.
it's going to be tough. But I mean, I think Pulisic's going to be critical out on the wings there. But
Haji Wright was the guy I was
oh, okay,
thinking of. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
You know who you miss right now. You didn't take him on the roster, Diego Luna.
Oh,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but I think it's going to be Pepe, and he's probably the longest tenured guy up there.
Hmm.
Um,
well, so they won without Pulisic, which to me was big because he's the playmaker, and yet who knows, he could make he could take it over, and this could be his moment to shine. He's wanted this for a long
yeah,
time, so we need him now. I mean, go do it. This is
and
your chance
Tillman
to.
too. Tillman and
Yeah.
Weston McKinney. They are superb
Oh,
players.
Tillman, man, that shot,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was
fantastic.
just. Now Tillman has a English accent. How is that? So is McKinney.
I think isn't Tillman German?
I know McKenny was born in Germany. I
One of them,
think
yeah, they both have accents. Yeah, it was.
yeah, Tillman does because I
Yeah.
saw him in an interview yesterday, and I said, "Oh, I didn't realize he had an English accent."
Uh, he's playing for Bayern.
Yeah,
He was born in Germany. He's Nuremberg.
both of them. So
Tillman is for sure.
Tillman, and how about McKinney? Does he have an accent too?
Weston McKinney now. I don't think McKinney
Big time
is.
accent.
McKenny?
Weston
Okay.
McKinney?
The blonde haired one. Is he blonde haired? Wait,
No,
who's?
No.
he's the guy that has a little red streak.
Yeah,
No,
he's got the
okay.
red, white, and blue
No,
in his
no,
hair.
no, no. I'm thinking. Who's the
Well,
blonde haired guy?
Balogun.
No, not
He's
Balogun.
thinking of Tim Ream.
No. Tim Ream. My daughters are like, "Why is his hair yellow?"
Yeah.
He had like yellow dye in his hair yesterday. Like, what?
He
I was
played
thinking the
for
same thing when I saw that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
He played for St. Louis U.
St. Louis, the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who you're thinking of, Brian.
Yeah, I'll think of it. I'll get back to you. I don't remember. There was one of them had somebody else who was in an interview yesterday had an accent, and I was like, wow.
Oh, maybe Aaron Robinson?
Oh,
Yes,
Anthony Robinson.
Anthony
Yes,
Robinson.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Now, where
right.
is he from?
He
Must be the same. Yeah.
Germany,
England.
England. Okay,
Yeah.
born
I
in
mean,
England.
our,
Yeah. Okay.
Born in England.
our back line has been terrific in this World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, well, even when Balogun went out for a few minutes, I was nervous, and then I looked at them with the defensive midfielders are great. Adams has been solid, and I'm watching. I'm thinking, there's no way these guys are going to score.
No, Bosnia is their goals were all from 18 plus yards out in the World Cup, and the U.S. just closed that out. I mean, they had guys, they were not letting them shoot from 20, 22 yards out, and that's where they had put in a few goals. So they weren't going to make plays to get a quick goal inside the 6 yard box. It's just
Yeah.
not the way that they play. They play cross, they play long distance shots. So, and the U.S. just closed it out. They played great defensively. So you're right, Mike.
So
And
wait,
real quick,
Alex. Now I gotta. You have to apologize. You were dissing Harry Kane really bad the
Yeah.
last episode.
I
What
didn't.
what did you think about him playing?
He, pl-
I thought I've never seen him play that well.
he played outstanding. I mean,
yeah.
really, really played well. Being down, they were down 2 goals, and he produced, like, the first goal, I was like, okay. The second goal was just phenomenal. Like, he
Oh,
created that
yeah.
goal on his
Off
own.
balance.
Yeah, off balance, and just
Uh,
moved the ball perfectly on the touch, and plastered it. So huge credit to Harry Kane, because my impression of Harry Kane, it's like I guess it's from his Tottenham days, like they never won the big one. So
yep.
it was, my impression of him is always like, hey, he's a great player, but in under pressure, wilts, and he didn't. He played a superb game. So, let's see if he can carry England to the cup and bring it home. I don't think they can, but we'll see. We'll see.
They've got a brutal game on Sunday night. That is going to be tough in the Azteca.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, wow, the altitude, that crowd,
that's the best home field advantage in soccer right now, I think.
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean,
They
that
have
is
to
a true
travel
north.
there too, right? Because
Yes.
they played their game, and didn't Mexico play at Azteca? Like, Mexico is like not
They've
leaving there, right?
they've
No, they're
played
staying
all
there.
their games at Azteca, and then
I think they played one at Guadalajara. I think.
okay, their last game. Who did they just beat? Mexico very comfortably. Whoever that was that they beat. That team was saying that the night before the game, they were in their hotel, and people outside were shooting off fireworks. You know they're going to give England that same treatment. It,
Ecuador, when
Yeah,
they played
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Yeah.
So
yeah,
what's interesting about the Mexico team is I was looking through the roster. A lot of their guys don't play in any of the European leagues or anything like that. They all play in. Most of them play in like the
Liga MX.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, they don't
yeah.
play like that's a rarity. You don't see that because pretty much when you go through everybody's team, you see people playing all over the place. Or you play them in different places, but on most of them are all staying home. That's interesting.
Yeah, and there's bias, right? It's like the U.S. wasn't allowed to play. Teams wouldn't sign players from the U.S., so I'm sure it's similar to that.
Yeah, but that I think the England manager Thomas Tuchel has already been saying, "Oh, it's going to be such a chore for us. There's no way we're going to be able to adapt to the altitude in 4 days because they played their game wherever they played. Then they traveled back to their home base to, I guess, collect their things, and then they're flying to Mexico. I think yesterday they were flying to Mexico, so they're going to be in Mexico City for what three full days, and then they've got to play Sunday night in the Azteca. I think it's an 8 o'clock game.
Yeah,
That
this
place is
is
going
gonna
to
be
be
rough.
insane. Yeah, that's
I
a
know.
tough order for England to play because I can't imagine, Brian. You talk about the how are the referees going to referee the game. I feel if I'm an English fan, I would be nervous about how is this game going to be officiated in Mexico against Mexico.
With Mexican referees.
Yeah, a chance to go to the quarterfinals, which I don't know if Mexico's ever gone that far. So this has to be the biggest game in Mexico's soccer history. They must feel like they haven't lost a game yet in the World Cup. England seems vulnerable. They have not looked their best at all in this tournament. So if I'm an English soccer fan, I'm nervous.
Okay. Okay. We'll continue. We'll just finish up, Mike. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll edit this part out.
Okay.
Um, let's just okay. Go ahead. Okay. So continuing this, England has a tough time. Right now, Mike, who do you think? Like France still a favorite?
Oh, they've looked terrific. Yeah, I say they are the favorite. If you saw their game the other day against Sweden, and Sweden has some world class players. Going into the game, I thought France is easily going to beat Sweden. Then you see the starting 11 for Sweden. They've got some good players, some good attacking players. But I mean, you look at France's front line. It's Mbappe, who's incredible. Michael Elise, who plays for Bayern Munich, he's terrific, and then Ousmane Dembele. So Terry Henry, who's been great in the studio with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, was saying, you've got three of the top five players in the world are the forwards on the France line. And
Yeah.
they just, I mean, Mbappe was terrific. The goals he scored were incredible. The unfortunate thing about the World Cup, the way the bracket is set up, is that I think France and Spain are the two best teams, and they're on the same half of the bracket. So them playing in the semifinals is a little bit unfortunate because you'd love to see that
Yeah,
as
but what a
the
game
final.
that's going to be if they play.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and I don't know. there's really no one there that can really topple Spain. I don't think the Portugal game I think will be a great challenge for them, but that gets them into the quarterfinals where they would play either the U.S. or Belgium. And obviously, as much as I love the U.S., to ask them to beat Spain, which has got world
No,
class
I mean,
players at every position, they haven't given up a goal yet. It's a very tall order, so I feel like the ceiling is the
they need one of the Spain players to get a red card in the first couple minutes of the game. That
you need
I mean,
four or five.
yeah,
There's so much talent
you
there.
never know what's going to happen, and that's the cool thing. I have seen. You know what? I have to tell you, the when it's a tie and they have to go to the shootout. It's almost like it changes so much, but it's such a riveting. Now I love the shootout in hockey, and the shootout in hockey
Mhm.
is just as intense, especially in these playoff games when they're doing a shootout. It's just so intense because you know you have, but here you know it that those shootouts are best of seven. These
Mhm.
shootouts are win or go home,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
intensity is nuts,
The pressure.
nuts. I just it's so cool to watch, and that is you just looking through people's heads like I don't who was Netherlands. Oh my God,
Netherlands.
they
Yeah.
just blew that. There's guys,
Absolutely.
these guys that were playing. These guys are playing. They play soccer their whole life, and they couldn't
Yeah.
even get it on net. I just
There's
couldn't
that.
believe that. I was shocked. I was
Every
shocked.
every time I watch a World Cup or any soccer game, penalty shootout, there's that long walk, right? All the 10 players are
Yes.
interlocking arms, and you have that long walk from midfield to the 12-yard spot by yourself. And you know that your mind is racing, the crowd is going crazy. You're thinking about where am I going to put this ball, and you're trying to predict, and the goalie's bouncing around to try to intimidate you and stuff. I wouldn't want that. And I always say this to people because I started refing and you talk to goalies during penalties. To me, the pressure is all on the penalty taker. If the goalie saves one, it's a miracle because you're just diving one way or the other,
Right.
hoping that
Right.
you get
Right.
it right,
Right.
or you're hoping that he misses it. So that's why I think there's all and that so you have all the pressure on the penalty taker, and then he's taking that long walk to the 12-yard spot. So
Now, did you see when there was one goal where the goaltender made the save, but then the ball
yes,
kind of slipped through
yes,
him, and his back foot
yes. Oh,
kicked it in the net. But
heartbreaking. Yeah,
that guy drilled that shot, though. I mean, you
yeah.
have to. He had to. You got to. This is the one thing that I don't think the normal fan understands, that these guys have powerful legs.
Oh yeah,
They're not just kicking that ball; they're drilling that thing. And if it went, the goalie had it, and it actually went through his body almost, and it
yeah.
went through and it trickled in. That was a powerful shot.
Yeah,
So
powerful
that
shot. Great save. And at first I'm jumping off the couch. Oh, what a save. And then it trickles behind. Oh no, it rolled in.
yeah,
Ah,
you see his face when he looked
yeah.
behind him and he saw he could. There's no way he could
Scrambling
get it.
after the ball, pawing at it, and yeah, it was just over the line. Oh man. Yeah, heartbreak. That was a
Yeah,
heartbreaker.
no. So yeah, the goaltend. It's funny. Goaltending is you're right, like you say. Goaltending. A lot of it is luck. A lot of it is trying to be prepared. I see that they try to, and I've been watching a lot of this. They try to take up as much space or
Hmm.
create as much space as they can to block. But again, you just don't know which way the guy's going to kick. It's all luck. It's so
Yeah.
much of it's luck, especially
They
on those penalty shots. You're just basically saying, okay, 50% left or right now, high or low. So you're basically
yeah.
50%, then another 50%. So I don't know the percentages there, but you're really limiting yourself. You're trying to make you're making a you're dividing. You're making a choice, and then so that could be right or wrong, and then you're going high or low, and that could be right or wrong, and then it could be such a hard shot you're not going to stop it anyway.
Yeah, they have tendencies. So before the penalty shootout starts, you'll see the goalie is talking to one of the coaches, and they've got this big binder. And I don't know if they know who the five shooters are, but they'll say, "Okay, Brian Galloway's taking the first penalty. Here's how he's taken his last 10 penalties. He goes to the right 80% of the time. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to fake like I'm going to the left, dive to the right. So there are all these mind games, but what I saw in the Morocco Netherlands game, which you never see because you know that you see this, the goalie just guesses, so he
Yeah,
dives, he
yeah, yeah.
dives, He dives low to his left or he dives low to the right. But one of the Netherlands players, Somerville, who's a great player, he went high to the goalkeeper's right, and the goalie went right and he
Yeah,
jumped and he
I know.
knocked
I
it away.
saw that.
I have never seen a goalie guess correctly and go high. They always just dive low because players are always trying to place it as close inside the post as they
And you
can.
notice how that goalie, so that goalie, right before the shot, he kept on clapping his hands really loud too.
Oh yeah,
It was really annoying, and I was like that. He was the only one I saw do that. I see the other ones jump around, move, try to
they
shake
shake
things.
the
Yeah,
crossbar
yeah,
always. Yeah,
but he was like clapping his hands really loud, and it was like I don't know if that was bothering them. It was just like it was very interesting that how intense that is, and
yeah.
the fact that the shooter, like you, the pressure on you, like you screw up, everybody's watching you, and you watch their face when they miss, and they turn
Oh,
around and
heartbreak!
they're
It's
like, "Oh
heartbreaking.
my
The
gosh,
guys are about
like
to
I
cry.
can't
Oh,
believe this,"
it's
and it's got to be
devastating all
horrible.
around.
It's got to be horrible for them because you
It's
only have that one shot, and you're expected to make it. You're expected to
yeah,
make it, but a lot of those guys don't take penalty shots during the game. Most of the teams have like one or two guys that take all the
yeah,
shots, right?
yeah.
Isn't that basically
Designated,
the deal? Right?
yeah,
You like
designated penalty taker.
rarely on Argentina. Who else takes a penalty shot besides Messi?
Yeah,
Rarely anybody, right? They do that to help pad up their goal scores too. I
yeah,
just it is so some of these guys never take them during games. They take them
yeah.
during practice. Now here's my other thing too, and I do remember this from back in the Cosmos days, but I just don't remember how that works in World Cup. They go through the whole lineup, and if you keep going through and it's still tied after 10, do the goalies have to kick?
The goalies go. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I do remember that. I've seen that in the old. I haven't seen. I don't remember that in the World Cup, but um, I've seen that in other games. Okay, so the goalies do have to kick. See, that's what I want to see. I want to see that.
I feel like I saw that once. Maybe it was in the World Cup in Russia, but I do feel like I saw goalies take penalties. I know at least I saw it in MLS Cup one time. Nobody could stop a shot, so it went to 9 or 10 rounds, and then a goalie took one. One goalie made it, I think the other one missed it.
Yeah, I remember the Cosmos and Hubert Berkemeyer did. He scored a goal, and I remember that was like that was crazy. And
Yeah.
then what happens after that? Then you go to reserves.
I don't know. It doesn't seem to ever get that far. The most I feel like I've ever seen it go in a World Cup game or an international game is around 7 rounds because someone just misses and then someone comes through. I've never seen it go to 10 rounds. I don't know if they go back to the beginning, maybe. It's got to be the players on the field because the only players that are allowed to take penalties and participate are the ones that were on the field at the
Oh,
end of
imagine missing
the game.
twice. Imagine missing.
Well, well, do you remember? I think it was in the European Championships. England was playing in the final against Italy, and they were heading towards penalties and England made a couple of subs very late in the game. So
Yes.
because you had to get players onto the field before the game ended. So one of the players they brought on was this kid Bukayo Saka, who plays for the national team, plays for Arsenal. Great player, very young at the time, was maybe 19. He comes in late in the game. The game's played in Wembley Stadium, and he comes on for a couple of minutes at the end of the game. Doesn't really get a feel for the game. Goes to the penalty shootout, and he misses his penalty, and starts getting all sorts of social media attacks. And I think Marcus Rashford is another player who came in late in the game, missed his penalty. These guys were abused online, and they were put in such a difficult position by their coach to go in. Okay, I'm going to need you to play for 3 minutes out of the 120 in our home stadium. We haven't won a trophy since 1966, and you young players are going to go in for 3 minutes, and you're going to take a penalty. And they both missed, and they were heartbroken, obviously, and they've obviously rebounded. But I remember when that happened, I said, "That's so hard. You put this play. It's hard enough taking a penalty, but you put these young players in this very difficult spot where they have not played in the game much at all, and now they have to go take a penalty, and then they miss. You lose the game, and it's another lost opportunity for England. So I don't envy any of those players. The only players that I guess are capable of thriving are, like you said, the designated penalty takers. But there are maybe, I don't know, maybe there are two or three of those guys because you look at a team like Portugal, Ronaldo always takes their penalties, but they also have Bruno Fernandes on their team. He's the designated penalty taker for Manchester United. But a lot of those guys are they don't take many penalties for
Right,
whomever
right,
they
right.
play.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Oh,
Very
I mean, it's gotta be the one of the like again, hockey just as intense, just as crazy, just as fun to watch. But the thing is, unless it's like the game seven, it's
yeah,
not do or die. Like you screw up, okay, guess what? I'm going to still come back tomorrow. Here, you're that's it. You're done. Like you screw up, you're done. You're
yeah,
done.
and in hockey though, you play until the game's over. There's no
Yeah.
penalty shootout. You're in game
Well,
seven,
yeah, they do, but they do. So in hockey, they do it, but they do in the earlier rounds. They do. I mean, I'm sorry, during the season they
regular
do that.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do that. So you're still, yeah. So I would love to see soccer play. See, the thing is, I do notice when it gets close to the end of that second extra period, they kind of like calm down and like try to just play defense and
yeah.
because
Nobody,
they
because you
they
don't want to
play.
lose the game. You don't want to lose the game in those minutes, which is weird because then they're saying essentially, "Oh, we'd rather take that dice roll in the penalty than try to win the game here." They play more to not lose in those extra periods than to win, and then they almost resign themselves to the fact that they're going to end up taking penalties to decide the winner, which is the cruelest way to conclude a
Yeah.
game. It's just because
Well,
it's just luck.
I have to tell you, I'm just so enthralled with it. I love it. I look forward to it. And I do. I watch most of the games on the Spanish station because I think first of all, they don't have a lot of commercials and they don't have a lot of stupid people, commentators that don't know what they're talking about on the sideline. They just go pure coverage. And my like I can understand most of it. I'm pretty decent. I can handle most of it. I can understand what they're saying. I just think the coverage is better. It's so funny, but it dramatically. And I was watching them side by side too, and it's just a better view. And they don't have all these annoying commercials, and they don't have a. There's a lot of stuff that you don't realize. Now, yes, you have to be able to understand what they're saying, but I do tell you that it's better coverage, and that's sad, but it's the truth. So if you have a chance, opportunity, if you have two TVs, put them both on and look, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's dramatic because I get downstairs, I can do
Cool.
that, and I was looking at him. I'm like, yeah, no wonder I'm getting annoyed because there's not these stupid sideline reporters talking about stuff. I don't want to know some of these things that they're talking about,
I
and
agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like it's too much. We don't need that. We just watch the game, and it also forces me to not multitask. Like so, just like a lot of you scan your phones, you're looking at something
yeah,
while the game's on. No, when I'm watching that on the Spanish station, because of I have to concentrate because again, my Spanish is not that good, but if I pay attention, I know what they're saying. But I have to focus. So that makes me focus more in the game, and it makes me appreciate it more. Because I know my wife's been laughing, and she's like, "Are you watching the Spanish station again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just because she hears the guy go
oh,
go," and I love that. I love that, but it it is better to me. I like the coverage there much better. I go back and forth. I watch some the U.S. game. I watch on the U.S. station, but all the other ones I've been pretty much watching, and I love the way they say the people's names too, especially like the Democratic Republic of Congo. They kept on saying Republico Democratic del Congo, and that's what we would say every time. And any of these countries that have a lot of names, when they say a player, they always tell you where they're from, and they say it every time. Whether it's a foreign name country, they
Mhm.
say it all the time. It's just pretty funny how they're very respectful, and they're very. I don't know. It just seems to me like they seem to understand the game better too. I don't know. It's just the way it
Yeah,
is. It's I don't think U.S. coverage is that good yet with soccer. I think it's something that again, if we lived in England, I know their coverage would be a lot better than ours.
Mhm.
You know it because they know what they're doing. Whereas we cover more of the other sports. I don't think we understand how to cover soccer that well. I really don't.
Yeah. We're trying to feature color commentators from the U.S. Landon Donovan has been featured, so they've got a couple of others
Who
as
has
well.
made fun of
Stu
his
Holden.
hairpiece? The
Yeah,
other day he
which
made
is
fun
good.
of his hairpiece,
Yeah,
which is
I'm
funny.
glad he does that, which is good. And then they have Stu Holden. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to pair a more veteran soccer announcer as the play-by-play guy, like Ian Darkey, who I think has worked for ESPN. So they're having some play-by-play commentators that are from England or just have been doing this for 30, 40 years. They really know the game well, and pairing them with a U.S. Uh, color commentator. And part of it, you know this from watching tons of sports, is a lot of it is the relationship and the
Yes,
banter between
yes,
the
yes.
two. So they're trying to create these relationships between the two, and it's a little bit disjointed when you have this play-by-play guy working with Landon Donovan. They haven't worked together or haven't worked much together, and
Yeah.
it's a little unnatural. And the Spanish broadcast, they probably, because nobody may know who these commentators are, so they just have existing teams that have worked together for a long time. They know when to
And
speak
then
and when not.
there's some of this on one of the, I think it's on Peacock. They have an English guy with a lady um,
Oh, doing the
do
game.
some of the
Okay.
games, and they're really good too. They're really good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
those
really good too.
they might be pulling in because it's NBC or on Peacock. They may be pulling in some of the Premier League broadcasters who work
Yes,
together.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they're very good too. They know what they're talking about too. They
Yeah.
explain things. Now, the last thing before we
Mhm.
end up, what's this thing with Alexi Lawless and
Oh,
Abramovich?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's just Alexi Lawless is he's kind of a blowhard, if you will.
yeah. He always has
He's
been.
trying, yeah, he's trying to draw attention to himself. He says controversial things. He's outlandish, and Ibrahimovic is, you know, very arrogant. He's always been known as being a very super confident, arrogant soccer player. When he played for Sweden, he played all over the world. Great player. And I just think he doesn't respect Alexi Lawless. Then you have Terry Henry, who's working with them as well.
Yeah,
So Henry, a great player and I think he's just great. I think the two of
actually,
them
he's
are
a
great.
terrific
Oh,
commentator.
so
He's the best
good.
of them all. He's the best of them
He's
all.
fantastic. Yeah, he's a natural. I think he's been doing it for years. Ibra is new to it, so he's a little bit clunky.
Now, Ibra, there's a great commercial that he did. You see that commercial of him with he has like a talk show. There's a commercial. It's pretty good. If you haven't seen that commercial,
I
it's
haven't
pretty
seen that.
funny. Yeah, yeah. It's out. They have it on the other station, but they have it on Peacock. It's actually I've seen it a couple of times. It's really good. It's a good commercial. He
Yeah,
pokes fun at himself too. He can
I
poke fun at himself. It seems like he pokes fun at his. I now is he one of the best players of all time?
I
Top
wouldn't
10?
say
Is he
that.
top 10? No, because somebody was saying he's
No,
top 10. No, he's
great
not. Huh?
player. He was a great player. I mean, he was the Swedish Player of the Year 10 years in a row. He did play all over. He played for Barcelona and a bunch of teams. I don't know that I'd put him in the top 10, but he was a terrific player when he played. And I think he probably does not appreciate Alexi Lawless's approach. His outlandish approach.
Alexi Lalas was not a great player. He was a darn good player
Yeah,
for an
solid.
American team. Solid player, very good defensive
Yeah,
player, but not a great player. I know when he played overseas, he didn't do that great, right? He was
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's just the shtick. I think you see how Zlatan Ibrahimovic is. He
Yeah.
carries himself in a way that I think he's very dismissive of Alexi
Well,
Lawless. And
though,
then really,
Lalas had to take a flight, and they were laughing. He was saying like, "Hey, it's great now. America, you're blessed now. You don't have to deal with this guy." Like
yeah,
he's like saying stuff that's like, wow. I'm like,
yeah,
they're letting him get away with that.
yeah. I think I feel like the last
It,
time I saw Lawless in the studio with those two guys, he seemed a little bit toned down. So I don't know if somebody told him or he's just reading the
well, it's
room and
almost
saying,
like
like,
Barkley and Shaq, but it's pretty funny. I
yeah,
like it. It's good. It's good. If they're trying to create something like that, hey, it's cool. But I don't think people know the background as much. They're not,
yeah,
most the casual observer doesn't know them, either of them, really that well. Like, even though Lawless is a famous U.S. player, I don't know. To me, I don't know. I saw Kobe Jones. They showed Kobe Jones yesterday in one of the games. Watching one of the games, he was in the booth
oh,
watching the
really?
game.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was really cool. And they actually the broadcaster was talking about Kobe Jones and how he did really well overseas, and
Oh, okay.
a lot of the guys were saying how they said that, yeah, he was definitely one of the better Americans that went over and played
Mhm.
overseas. Now, again, I don't know these things, so you know this better than me. I mean, I don't know how many, who were the Americans that have done the best overseas, but mostly goalies, right?
Yeah, probably Tim Howard. Tim Howard played
Yeah.
for Manchester United and Everton. Landon Donovan had a spell at Everton, played pretty well. He was there a couple times, but yeah, it's become obviously something more prevalent because, like Alex was saying earlier, a lot of teams didn't want American players. I think American players are starting to represent themselves better and getting more opportunities to get overseas and play in those better leagues. And I think that's now being reflected in how much better we look as a team in the World Cup. Like I think the U.S. this to me is the best I've ever seen us look in a World Cup. Like we don't play this boring style, and I think a lot of it is because when you look up and down the roster, the majority of these players are playing overseas, and they're playing in top leagues. They're playing in very good leagues, not in
Do you think they can beat? Do you think they can beat Belgium?
I definitely do. Yeah, yeah. I feel confident in the Belgium game, despite Balogun being out. I just think Belgium's a bit long in the tooth. They got some older players. They've got their golden generation that reached a semifinal is the furthest they've gone. But Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, even their goalie Thibaut Courtois. These guys are in their mid to late 30s. They are not playing even in the top leagues anymore where they were. So I think we've got a great chance. We're playing with a ton of confidence, and I think the crowd in Seattle is going to be great. I think that's been the best atmosphere for us to play in. So I'm excited.
Big soccer fans. They're big soccer
Yeah,
fans.
I'm really excited. I feel great about that game. Now, if we advance and we play a Spain or Portugal, if it's Spain, I'm not optimistic. Of course, I'm hopeful, but I'm confident that we're able to beat Belgium.
Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll end it on that. Okay, great. Looking forward to the next couple of days. Great stuff. We'll talk some NBA next episode. We have a lot of.
So much. There's so much going
I
on.
figure it's better to wait. Let a couple more things. Give us because a couple more days, more things are going to happen. So then we'll get the whole landscape because the NBA's got some crazy stuff, and I know you want to
So much.
talk about Tatum, but I mean I will. Let's see what happens in the next. Who knows? He might even be traded again. I heard the story about that, so I don't even know what's going to happen. We'll see. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on. I just don't understand. Some of this stuff is just baffling to me, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So we'll talk about that. Okay,
All right.
wonderful. Okay, have a great week. Take care.
Have a great fourth.
This is Tom Carvel. Thank you for listening to 3 the Hard Way Sports Podcast. Remember to get a Fudgy the Whale or Cookie Puss for the next time you're sitting down to watch the big game.